Hey, what's up guys? The craze for dual camera smartphones have been increasing in the market today. Well, if you have noticed that every smartphone manufacturers are jumping into the market with their smartphones with a dual camera setup. But how does this dual camera help in getting a better quality image? We'll find out in this video. Before we start our video, if you have still not subscribed to my channel, then please make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now and stay tuned to the channel because very soon I'll be uploading a video regarding how autofocus on cameras work. Now, talking about the dual cameras, you all must be thinking that the trend for dual cameras has started with the launch of iPhone 7 Plus in the last year. But you might be amazed to know that the dual cameras have emerged in the market quite way back earlier. In the year 2011 with the launch of HTC Evo 3D and LG Optimus 3D. These two phones were the first smartphones with a dual camera setup, but the dual cameras in those phones was having a different purpose. Those dual cameras were meant to capture a 3D image. Well, in those days the 3D smart TVs were in craze, and seeing the trend, the HTC and LG company thought of launching a smartphone which would be able to capture a 3D image, and also they have a 3D display so that you have a glasses-free 3D experience. In those smartphones, the two cameras were identical and were of the same pixel count and of the same aperture size. But the difference is that they were aligned at a different angle. Very slight difference in the angle was there so that they could capture the image not only in a linear way but from an angle itself. And the end result of the image was a 3D image. Now coming back to iPhone 7 Plus. The last year we saw the launch of iPhone 7 Plus, and the most attracting feature of that phone was the dual camera setup. Well, in iPhone 7 Plus, the dual camera was not meant for capturing 3D images. It had two image sensors and two different lenses. One was a wide angle lens and the other one was a telephoto lens. The wide angle lens was the main primary lens, and the secondary lens or the secondary camera was the telephoto one. The telephoto lens was by default set to a 2x optical zoom, which means that if you want to take a zoom shot, then you do not have to rely on the digital zoom and compromise with the quality loss. Whenever you want to take a zoom shot, the phone quickly switched over to the 2x optical zoom telephoto lens, and then it was able to capture the same shot with a zoomed out effect and without any loss of the quality. Now the secondary camera, that is the telephoto lens, was also programmed to capture only the depth information while it was capturing the portrait mode. That is, when you put your camera into the portrait mode, then the primary camera, which is the wide angle lens, captured the whole image, and the secondary camera, that is the telephoto lens, was only working to calculate the depth information. And after calculating the depth information, the software merged both of these information, that is the image information from the primary camera and the depth information from the secondary camera, to create a beautiful looking bokeh effect which you generally observe in the DSLR photos. Now coming to LG approach. What LG had done with the launch of the G5, that it had a primary camera, that the primary sensor and the secondary sensor was of a lower megapixel count, and it had a wide angle lens. It is just the opposite of the iPhone 7 Plus. Whenever we wanted to capture a wider field of view, the camera seamlessly switched over to the secondary lens and captured a wider image. And here also the secondary camera performed the function of capturing the depth information, provided the information to the software, and then the software calculated those which had the lowest depth value was kept in focus, and every other element of the picture was defocused. Now next, let's come to the Huawei approach. With the launch of the Huawei P9, the company had introduced a newer trend in the dual camera setup. That is, it had a primary camera with a high quality lens, and the secondary camera was a monochrome sensor. That is, the primary camera was capturing all the colors and the secondary camera was only able to capture the blacks and whites. Now you might be thinking that what is the work of the black and white sensor? Well, actually this sensor came into play when you are shooting at night. That is, during low light photographies, the secondary sensor captured only the light information from the surroundings and the primary camera captured the image. And when both of these images were merged together, you get a better image with a better dynamic range and less noise and a better low light photography experience. Now again here the secondary camera, that is the monochrome sensor, is also working as a depth calculator while it is capturing the images in portrait mode. Now these were some of the high-end smartphones in a higher budget segment. Now what about the smartphones which are launched in the budget segment? Well, the budget segment smartphones also have a similar kind of camera setup, only the difference is that the two sensors, the two cameras which the company is providing, are of different megapixel count. That is, that if you go for the Xiaomi Mi A1, which is around 15,000 rupees, has a similar iPhone 7 Plus type setup. If you go for Moto G5s Plus, it is having a RGB and a monochrome sensor just like the Huawei P9. Since both of these lenses in all the smartphones are having different aperture lengths, the end result or the combination of these apertures are used to attain a much better quality of image. So basically, in all of the smartphones, the portrait mode is basically a game of the software. That is, the cameras only capture the information, the details and the color information is taken from the photo from the primary lens, and the depth information is taken from the photo captured by the secondary lens. And finally, both of these images are combined, and hence it is calculated by the software that which object to keep in focus and which object to make blurred out. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this video helped you in clearing out your doubts regarding how does the dual camera setup help us in getting a better quality image. If you like this video, make sure you leave behind a like for this video and also share it with your friends. And before leaving, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so that you never miss an awesome tech update from my side. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.